everyone. I've come to the conclusion that this dog seems to think he's human. Here's why. This dog used to watch me doing chores when I was younger. One of these was the washing. So on this day, I put the washing in the machine. Just to give you a bit of an idea, the washing machine and the tumble dryer were in the same room, almost next to each other. He used to be frightened, so I'd let him watch to show him that he had nothing to fear. Being a terrier with the heart of a lion, I didn't want him to be scared of anything. So anyway, this dog, while I was asleep, decided to be Mr. Helpful. I was having an afternoon nap. I was in more pain back then, and the best way for me to deal with it was to sleep, in my opinion, which is how he managed to get up to so much mischief. So while I'm asleep, the washing machine finishes and starts beeping like an M&M commercial. I ignore it because I figure I'll do it later after my nap. But then, all of a sudden, I hear click. Lots of claw taps, and then click. I'm wondering if I'm still half asleep. Even my mum was wondering if we'd misheard, but as we'd both heard the noise, obviously not. Still, I ignore it and I go back to sleep. Then, suddenly, we hear lots of running and then boing, boing, more running, boing. And this is constant, to the point that my mum just asked me to go and see what on earth is going on. So I go in, and what I see is shocking. When you hear, you tell me whether you'd have praised him or told him off. On the one hand, man, I'd have to do all the washing again. But on the other hand, he was only trying to help. Anyway, when I go in, he leaps out of the tumble dryer. He doesn't even see me initially. He's so focused. He runs as fast as he can to the wash machine. Then, before my eyes, he makes a running jump into the washing machine. He's about the size of Sylvie, so very small. He manages to jump really far back. He grabs a piece of clothing in his mouth, and then with another running jump, hurls himself into the tumble dryer. I'm in such shock that I'm just watching him do this for a few seconds with my mouth open. But Mum called me for an update. So I said, Mum, you have to see this. I don't know whether to tell him off or praise him. But before you say anything, please come quietly and look at him. I can't believe he's doing this, and I don't know how to feel about this. So Mum comes and she looks at the kitchen, and it's only when Mum comes that he comes and he looks at us. He's wagging his tail. He's so happy because, hey, he just did all the washing. On the one hand, he feels he did a really good job. On the other hand, we now have to wash all the clothes again. So, do we tell him off, or do we praise him, or do we just ignore what he did? He's sitting there expecting some kind of reaction for all his hard work. He managed to put about a third of the washing quite far back into the tumble dryer. Nothing stopped him. He opened both doors and just started running in between both machines, taking washing as he went. And remember, he was tiny at the time. He was having the time of his life. He was like, Ma'am, don't worry, you can sleep. I've done it for you. As the washing was my chore, I wanted to laugh and cry and scream all at once. It meant re-washing everything, but at the same time, how could you tell him off? He just wanted to help. Anyway, you tell me if your pets are crazy. By the way, it's Psoriasis Awareness Month, and I'm sure we all know someone who has it. If that is you, don't feel bad. Do not feel ashamed. Just remember what I always say. You're handsome, and you're beautiful, and you, well, I don't know. I'm speechless. I'll let you know next time I see you. Over to the pets.
Hello all, this is Sylvie.
If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more.
Hey everyone, my name's Bonjo. If you enjoyed yourself, then give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends.
Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and if you had fun, then comment down below and let my mum know if you know anyone as crazy as me.